Yeah, I think that's been down to, there's been a bit of a risk on sort of sentiment prevailing. The stellar bank earnings that we've seen really propped up the market and sort of overshadowed concerns that we've had about, stagflation and China property issues, those sort of issues, and an early Fed taper. And it's really been on a tear, ever since the week payrolls number. It hasn't really dampened the bullish momentum. When you look sort of at the charts, which you pulled up now, it's comfortably above its former range resistance at 93.2. Price is trending nicely within its ascending channel, supported by the 21-day EMA as price dips lower. Both moving averages are pointing upwards, supporting short-term bullish momentum. The RSI has fallen back to the 55 level, which tends to act as either support or resistance, depending on whether it's coming from below or above that line. Targets-wise, on the upside, 94.5, the previous high, would sort of be my initial target. Beyond there, 95 would come into play. And then on the downside, zones I'd be paying particular attention to would be sort of the 21-day EMA and the 93.2 former resistance around the 50-day simple moving average, which is the light blue line in that chart.
So, Luke, what's the trade here? If you're going to trade it, I mean, against the euro, maybe?
Yeah, so the euro, short euro US dollar is sort of the macro trade I have the most conviction about. This is just due to the structurally differing inflation profiles between the US and Europe, which should, as a result, underpin a multi-year divergence in monetary policy between the two central banks. It's been under pressure ever since that German election, a result, and it's struggling to reclaim that 116 resistance level. It tried to rally above there, but it's been pushed down lower again. The moving averages all indicate bearish momentum, especially the shorter term moving average, the 21-day exponential moving average. The RSI has, however, made some negative divergence with price, which is usually a bullish sign. But again, for me, that's sort of a move to really be fading the rallies rather than actually looking to go long here. Targets wise, I'd be looking at the 21-day exponential moving average. Has been working well to cap rallies just above the 116 resistance. And then 117 just below the 50-day SMA, slightly higher above there. And then on the downside, I'd be looking towards 115, where price seemed to find a bit of a support. And those would be the levels that I'd be looking at and sort of monitoring quite closely, Cara.
All right, well, let's move on to sterling. Cable, what are we seeing here when we look at the chart?
Yeah, cable's an interesting one. It's had quite a strong rally off that 134 level, but it's found a bit of resistance now. As you can see, that long wick on the daily candle. Sellers came in around the 50-day simple moving average, and also, the RSI is right up against that former 53 level, which has capped price rallies previously. The 21-day exponential moving average might be a bit early to speak now. It seems to be curling up a bit, and that would, for the bulls, be a good signal if it crossed above the 50-day simple moving average. Targets wise, on the upside, the 50-day simple moving average will need to be cleared first around 1.371. From there, 138.0 to 138.5 gets opened up, which is right bang on the 200-day simple moving average, which is the dark blue line in the chart. On the downside, if price was to dip, I'd be looking at 136, the round number, and then below there, I'd be looking back down to the 134 low, and I'd be keeping an eye on that level. But yeah, Brexit, we've had some interesting developments on the Brexit front in Northern Ireland. The UK chief negotiator, David Frost, has stated that his red line is any European Court of Justice governance. So far, traders don't really seem to be paying any attention to trade war risk premiums being priced in. That would obviously be more so on the Euro GBP side of things, but yeah, I think maybe, there's a lot more hawkish in the rates markets. It's about 15 to 20 basis points are being priced in by the end of this year, and maybe that is actually helping cable as well as Euro GBP, the pound stay stronger against the euro.